Hey guys, welcome to the 16th episode of the Awarenezzz podcast. Today we're here with our guest Javel Lewis. Thank you very much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Introduce yourself to the people.
All right. Well, hey, I'm Javel Lewis. Originally from Lansing, Michigan. I'm on the Indiana Tech men's basketball team here. Major in sport management. Currently pursuing my MBA as well.
That's great, man. That's great. So let's do a little rewind on when you started your career, like how everything started when you were young, at what time you started playing basketball, and all those things that help you in the development.
So I think I started originally around like the age of 5. Basketball was like something that ran in my family for a while.
Okay.
But I kind of at first fell in love with football. Football was like a main sport that everybody in my family played as well. I was actually pretty good at football, but I think ultimately my love ended up changing just after a while. I just felt like I wasn't gonna really make it that far with football. I felt like I had a better shot with basketball. But so I started playing basketball at about 5 years old, training with my dad a lot. Had a lot of little coaches around me that I was training with. And then I think I started to really take it serious mainly. It was like middle school,
Okay.
like a little bit. Started to grow a little bit, started to get a little bit stronger. Then I started to see like what exactly I could do. So I was like, this is kind of something I want to stick with.
Mm-hmm.
And ended up just working my way up all the way through high school and all that. And ended up getting a couple offers before I ended up graduating out of high school. Couple just D2 Saginaw Valleys, and then just a lot of NAIAs. But I just felt like me as a player, I just needed to develop more. So I ended up going to a different route than everybody else. I did junior college.
Okay.
Up
JUCO.
up in Mount Pleasant at Mid Michigan Community College. Great place. Played there for about 2-3 years. Very blessed to play there. Actually, that's the number one school that I tell everybody about whenever I'm talking about school. I
Yeah.
always bring them up first.
Very thankful for them.
Yeah, very thankful for them. Ended up playing there for about 3 years. COVID. Transferred to Northwood University.
Also, you went to another place
Yep.
afterwards.
Yep. After I left mid, I went and played at Northwood. Got hurt there. Didn't really, play as well as I wanted to there.
And was it NAIA?
No, that's Division Two.
Oh, that's D2?
Yep,
Okay.
the GLIAC Conference.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Played Division Two for a while, but didn't really basically just didn't like it as much.
Okay.
Ended up leaving out of there, and that's why I entered the transfer portal. Had a long process with that. Didn't really know what was going to happen with that. I was just didn't play for a whole year, sat out.
Yeah.
And I ended up just going right back to my JUCO because I played during COVID.
Also, you went to Michigan again.
Went back to my JUCO, had a great year, and I was getting recruited heavily by a lot of different people at all levels. But Coach Ted, Coach Aubrey, Coach Wilson, all of them, they ended up reaching out to me, and I came here on a visit. And I was already familiar with Fort Wayne anyway, with my grandparents being up here, so I've been up here a lot, already known the school. Had a couple of people play here in the past that I played AAU with Jack and Jeremy Luciani. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them.
No, not really.
Yep. They were the two twins that played here before me, and they loved it here. Coach Albert, Coach Aubrey recruited me pretty hard, and ultimately when I came on the visit, I just knew this is where I needed to be at to finish out my career.
Great, man. So many stuff to talk about, but first I wanna go back to the beginning. You mentioned that you have basketball was something that ran in your family. Like, who were those people that introduced you to the sport and that helped you develop in that part?
Mainly my uncle Tank. That's like the person I really look up to the most. He really put the basketball in my hands and made me get confidence with it. That was something I struggled with. I kind of still struggle with to this day. It's just being confident with a lot of things that I do. And he basically taught me everything I need to know, from shooting to just dribbling, finishing, anything you could possibly think of. I basically got it all from him.
That's great, man. Because that's actually something that we see a lot from guys that we had the podcast with. Like, there's always somebody, or almost always somebody, that introduces them to the sport in the family. How important do you say having that person that had already been through that had already been a player before, was in order for you to develop more as a player?
I think that's very important because honestly, when it just comes to situations where times get tough, in sports or everything, it's not going to be perfect at all. And it's just good to have that person that you can reach out to.
Definitely.
And get some type of suggestions, advice, and just pick up the brain a little bit, because I mean, you're not gonna always pick the right or just be thinking of the right thing at all times either.
Yeah, and that person comes from a place of experience, right? Like
Yep.
that's somebody that has already lived through it, right?
Yep.
Good. And
Especially as a young kid, like you want to have someone who you look up to and like see what they did and like give actual advice. And someone who didn't play the sport, and then maybe it's like having a coach who doesn't know how to play the sport. You don't really listen to.
Yeah.
It's an example.
exactly, and being young, like yeah, because as an athlete, you also might look into like your teammates, like the people that surround you. But you're so young that nobody in your environment can really talk from a place of experience, other than somebody that has already done it before.
Yeah. Right.
So I just think that having somebody, mostly in your family, somebody that you have that level of relationship with, it's definitely like a game changer for you in that part, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of time too. I mean, it doesn't have to be people in your family. Like I got like multiple different coaches and like mentors that I still talk to this day. I mean, I could just go on. I got somebody named Chad Wilkerson. That's very close with him. John Horford. I still, Al Horford's. I'm not sure if he's older or younger brother, but he's my trainer in the off season. Reach out to him a lot.
Al Horford's younger brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I'm pretty sure it's his younger brother. I'm not sure though.
His family.
Yeah.
His
Something
family.
like that. But either way, yeah. Two main people I train with in the summer all the time. Talk to my old JUCO coach all the time too. Get advice from him. I'm still talking to all of them. Just with adult decisions too as well, like what I want to do next, blah blah, blah, getting advice, all of that. So
Just have like a network of people who know how you play and like to see your development, also see like your potential.
Exactly.
And that's great, man. Like also because of the fact that you still like you remember their names, but because of how close you have the relationship with them. Do you think that was something? Okay, of course there have to be like good mentors, good coaches in order to like stick that relationship with you.
Yeah.
But do you think there was something that you were doing that kind of allow them to open to you and have that type of relationship?
I would say just being more open and like vulnerable with people about like what I got going on.
Okay, so we just tell them like, okay, this is what's going on.
Just seeking help. I mean, it's something I've always struggled with. I'm not really a vulnerable person. I don't really open up about a lot of things. That's why I like coming on stuff like this to talk, because it's just something I know I need to do.
Right.
And it's just something that I gotta figure it out. I gotta be more open and vulnerable to people. So this is like a step towards doing that.
Great. And that it has given you results because the times that you've been open up to like people, you see like you allow yourself to have this relationship with the coaches and stuff. So kind of having that humility to maybe see this is what I'm lacking on.
Yeah.
This like what can I improve on, right?
Yeah.
Also just being coachable, not just in the sports, but also like being coachable in life, like getting advice from people, for like your uncle when you were young, or from coaches, and also like on life advice. And you also mentioned you played football. Did you play football and basketball at the same time, or was it like?
Yeah. So I played football and basketball at the same time.
I guess tight end.
Tight end.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, I played running back.
Really?
Don't know.
You're not that big or what?
That's the thing. I would be surprised. I was not that big as a child.
Okay.
Actually, it's pretty funny. But yeah, I played football and basketball at the same time. I would say all the way up until middle school, like right before high school, is when I kind of shut it.
Middle school is like 10 years
I think
old.
high school starts at 8th grade.
So
I'm not wrong.
No, high school starts at 9th.
9th. Okay.
Yep. And then I shut football down in middle school, like right at the start of freshman year.
Okay.
But I did attempt again my senior year, and I didn't last long. It was only 2 games, and I broke my foot. So that's why I knew it was over with.
Yeah, because in your senior year you were already big. Eh?
Exactly.
And that's also another thing that we see from a lot of the guys that we bring. Mostly because here in America, you guys support that kind of like multiple sport in the high school. So we have a lot of guys that play 2 to 3 sports before specializing on, okay, this is what I'm going to do. How helpful do you think like being exposed to the skill set and also the environment of football was for you in order to develop as a basketball player too?
So I would say actually just being a multi-sport athlete in general is great. I think it just exposes you to different ways that your body can move.
Yeah.
And that helps out actually a lot with basketball, because I mean, you're not always just playing in just one position, like flying around everywhere. You got different angles that you got to try to work with. Yeah. But I would say with football helped me a lot with just absorbing contact more.
Okay.
basketball obviously is a contact sport,
Yeah.
and sometimes it can get rougher than people want it to. But just being able to absorb that contact a lot kind of helped me when I was in football, and then like translate onto the basketball court.
Yeah. It's like when you come from playing football, like you get tackled the whole time, and then when you go to basketball, of course, it's also very physical, and then you're already prepared like for the toughness there.
Exactly, and then obviously like the conditioning part, because football is always before basketball. So whenever basketball season rolled around, I was already ready to go.
You're ready.
Yeah,
I think it's great, man, because like as you mentioned, in basketball probably you don't have the contact or conditioning to the level that you have in football. That's basically why it helps you so much, because at the moment when you come to play basketball, it's not easy, but it's simpler for you because you've already done it before.
Exactly.
No, I think it's great because like just being able, I think at a young age, what we try to do is just getting those skills that are gonna help make it easier for you to specialize in the future, like to get to that path that you want to go. For example, for you, basketball. So being exposed to different things not only help you different skills, then also allows you to make a decision and really choose what you really like. Yeah. Great, bro. And then what were those factors at the moment that you had to make the choice between football and basketball, or those things that help you decide for it?
So I think so what I think, basically.
That was in senior year, no?
Yeah. So you talking about like middle school? You talking?
Yeah, when you made like the decision at the beginning of the freshman year, like, okay, I'm gonna stick to basketball.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, honestly, what really shut it down for me is like, I mean, I lost my dad when I was like 11, and he was like one of my key supporters with football, and I kind of just like fell out of love with it a little bit, and I was just like, kind of just want to shut it down and pick up basketball. I think I could probably end up going farther with that. That was really my only like main decision with that. It didn't really come from like a skill set point or anything like that. I was just like, I'm not really feeling it anymore right now.
Okay.
Just with that's like my main decision with it.
No, sorry to hear that, man. And I mean, just losing that motivation that you had to play football was kind of like what drive you to then play basketball.
Yep.
And did you feel like you maybe had a bigger support system for basketball?
I mean, the support system never changed. I mean, my family didn't care what sport I played.
They were always supportive of you.
Just as long as I'm going to college, just trying to get the degree, just trying to basically change like the narrative, that a lot of people just perceive, with some type of like athletes. They just think that you're athlete, like nothing's gonna get done, blah blah blah. But it's like the narrative we like wanted to break, like with our family too. Just having more people go to school, just accomplishing more. Basically, I'm not saying that my family's not good or anything, but I'm saying that I wanted to be the person to change things and be able to help out everybody.
Great, man, great. Nice. Just having like something apart from just the sports part.
Yep.
That can like supports all the work that they've done for you and that you've done for yourself. Good, man. And then, okay, you started.
I mean, also just like out of my own experience, like it gives you some more motivation if you decide for one sport, because then you kind of leaving the other sport behind, and then you're all in now in basketball. Just like want to put everything in there.
Yeah, like it's good to maybe start broad a little bit, like trying different things, exposing. But then if you really want to get to like the highest level, you have to pick for one.
Especially having the goal in mind, like going to college.
Yeah. I mean, I could just say that a lot of colleges these days, I mean, they like multi-sport athletes a lot. Like they look for things like that. But I mean, obviously, if you're playing one sport, you gotta like put everything into that. You can't just
man.
Just be like around, just not doing anything with that. If you're multi-sport, I mean, kind of like you're always doing something, keeps you busy.
Yeah, but then at the end of the day, like for example, 3 hours of basketball a day is gonna make you progress better than an hour and a half of basketball, an hour and a half of football, if you really want to be the best in that specific sport, right?
Exactly.
Now that we're talking about work and training, what were those things during your development as soon as you like said, okay, I'm gonna stick to basketball, that you were started doing to like get to that next level in terms of training, habits, like whatever you were doing?
So what's funny is I don't know if my boy John gonna watch this tonight. He'll tell you everything about me, but I would say that
you have to send it to him, bro.
No, I'd tell you that like when I started in high school, the training and stuff, I was just like, I was taller than everybody. I was like, I don't really need to do much, blah blah blah. So I was raw with a lot of things. Like I didn't look like fluid with everything I was doing.
Okay.
So the training honestly did not really start until like maybe my junior year, senior year. I had to be literally forced into it, which is wild to say, but I literally had to be forced to train. And I'm actually not mad about that because I'm just changed the way I am as a player now, how I see things. So I started training with John a lot. My AU coach Chad a lot, trained with him a lot, but it's probably about two times a day I'll train with John, and then I'll go see my AU coach later in the day.
Oh, that's good. That was when you were in that, like after a junior year, that was kind of like your routine.
Yeah, that was mainly my junior year. My freshman, sophomore year, I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't really as committed because I just started playing one sport, so I just felt like I had a lot of downtime as a kid. Obviously, you don't want to try to burn too much time as a kid playing sports, so I was running around a lot. But I think just being able to form better habits taught me to just be more consistent with everything. That's the main thing I try to preach to myself now, is just being more consistent.
Great. What would you say was kind of like the eye opener for you to say, okay, I need to actually start putting the work? Because until some point, it was just the fact of you, like, okay, you were tall, but then at some point, like, you realize, okay, and I really need to like start working on my stuff, right?
I would say after my sophomore year, that was like really a humbling year for me. I was playing varsity, and I mean, I didn't really play as much, and I was a little frustrated with myself. And I just realized that I knew that I had to start to turn something around if I actually want to do something serious with this and play in college like I wanted to.
Also, like you mentioned, you were like always the tallest, like probably at that age, like other guys also catch up on your height.
Exactly.
And then you have to put some other work in.
Yeah, so me being a sophomore playing varsity, I'm playing against seniors that have been playing for about 4 years now, and it was a pretty humbling year for me. I had to wake up, change some things around for the into my junior year, and it was definitely a difference.
But did you start like working out on your own, or did you immediately start working out with the coach then?
So I went directly to, after my sophomore year, I started playing AAU with my coach Chad, and he was really, really the one that like locked in on me, like, because I didn't have like confidence or anything. He gave me the confidence that I needed to be successful in the court, and basically, he just told me if I wanted this is like the things I had to do to get that done.
So you kind of saw like the potential in you, or was like you going up to him like, "Hey man, I really want to work on myself. Like, could you help me?" Or did he saw the potential in you?
So what's crazy is he saw the potential in me. So I have an older brother, and he, for some reason, Chad always thought that my older brother, he always thought that I was the oldest. For some reason. So exactly. He thought I was the oldest the whole time. And randomly, exactly, it's crazy. So randomly one day he reached out to my mom and was basically like, I want your son to come play AAU for me. Because I wasn't playing AAU at the time. And he saw me as just basically like, you got all the potential in the world, and basically you just gotta use what God gave you. And that was just basically like all my athleticism, just learning how to use that more and just being confident. That's basically all he preached to me, is just being confident. A lot of people didn't believe in what I could do in high school, or basically just didn't know exactly what I was capable of. So just having him right there by my side the whole time, and still to this day, still talk to him almost every day. Just being able to just put that into your head that this is what you can do is helpful for me.
So the confidence that you say that he gave to you was mainly the fact that he saw something in you that probably other people didn't see, or not even you could see. But then he said, like, no, you're actually like, you're good for something, like you can be a good guy. You can be a good player, sorry. So I think it's key having a coach that's willing to speak to you like that, like tell you what you're capable of, like willing to put in the work with you. And then was he putting like extra attention in you? Like, did you guys start to develop the relationship from there?
So I wouldn't say it's really just extra attention. It's just more he just brought me along with his team, and me just playing with the people that have already been around him for a while, and just learning how he coaches.
Like making you a part of a team,
making me better, and just being a part of a team too that wanted to see me succeed.
Okay. So that was you started playing AAU with him, and then those habits that you catch on the training? How did you keep developing them? Because then you said that you were doing like 3 sessions a day.
Just being consistent. That's how I just basically just everything, just being more consistent with it. Not giving up when times got rough. That's about it. There's nothing too crazy to it. There's no secret formula. It's just consistency and just wanting it. That's about it.
That's great, man. That's great. And then from that junior year, okay, you started playing there. Like you started getting more serious and more consistent about your training.
Mhm.
Like, how did you start seeing the results then in that junior and then the senior year?
I would say I just started to see changes in like my body, my athleticism. I was jumping higher.
Okay.
Meaning I was actually a lot stronger than I was. I was actually pretty skinny in high school until about my junior year, and then that was about it. Just weights, basketball training. That was my life for about a whole year. That was about it.
So like you went from like doing nothing in terms of training to like completely locked in, right?
Exactly.
Oh, that's great.
Probably getting more playing time as well.
Yep. Ended up working
Recognition.
my way up to start. Started all year. I was pretty happy about that.
And that, like you mentioned, that sometimes you struggled with the confidence part. I think what really gives you confidence is how well you prepare.
Exactly.
Because then, like, if you know you've put in the work, if you've done it consistently, like, let's say you make 1,000 shots, you've been consistent with it. Like, at the moment that you're doing a shot in the game, you'll say, like, okay, I've already done 1,000. You know, like, I know I'm capable of doing it. So, kind of like that confidence part also comes from how well you prepare, because you already knew that you were like capable of doing those things, right?
Yep. Just gotta stay consistent with it, and then the habits that you form will eventually end up showing on the court. Just I mean, obviously, if you ain't got the confidence, ain't nothing gonna fall for you.
Yeah.
And just you gotta prepare. That's a lot of things I try to tell people too. Is just preparing, visualizing the moment, and just seeing yourself in your shoes before the game even starts. Just being calm, visualizing where you're at, being where your feet are, basically.
Yeah. Now that we're talking about preparation, we also saw in your Instagram, bro, that you like to do a lot of summer training, a lot of off-season training. How do you approach an off-season? Because we all know, like, that's a part for an athlete to actually develop. On season is mainly like recovery, being ready for the game.
Yeah.
Then off-season, how do you approach it?
So off season, I mean, you want me to start from when I was young? You want me to talk about now? Like how I am now?
We can talk about now.
Now, okay, let's talk about. So when I now, mainly my training is it's nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of people try to do like conditioning with just outside conditioning. I don't like running at all. I hate it. It's actually one thing I hate the most. So I try to incorporate my conditioning into my workout. So everything that we do is game speed, or it's like conditioning related inside of the workout. That's what I kind of recommend to a lot of players.
Yeah.
I don't really see the point in just running around. I
don't think Camilo and me, we just talked, like last week we talked about it, like instead of doing just running without the ball, for example, just do it with the ball, and it's still cardio. And in the game you have to be fit with your like mental part, and you like in basketball with your hands, but like in football you have to be fit with your feet. It's a whole different thing when you get like fatigued. Like
exactly. So I think just playing the sport itself is gonna help you out and just make you take bigger strides. Me mainly right now, I train with I have another trainer named Trafford. Trafford. I train with him a lot. A lot of his stuff that we do is just mainly live play, which I think is probably the greatest thing you can possibly do. I don't really see the point you just training with cones.
Yeah, just
training with cones,
going through the motions.
Training with cones does absolutely nothing, because in the game you're not playing against a cone, you're playing against an actual human. So just being able to see that translate from your workouts onto the court is actually pretty cool to see.
It's great, man. And as you said, the good thing about our sports, we play soccer and of course basketball, is that you're able to train that endurance part, that conditioning part, by actually just playing the sport. But it all comes down to the intention with which you do it. I mean, if you're just going through the motions, jogging, like kind of lazy, yes, you're training, but you're not really like training that endurance part. So in that cases, yes, you might need to do like some running after that. But then if you actually do it with intention and intensity while you're training, and I think that will be just enough for you to like train your conditioning.
Exactly.
So just like keep playing the sport, but at a high level. Is that what you do?
Basically, just training that game speed at all times is a must. I think it just trains your mind. Because, I mean, obviously basketball is a game with just different paces, and you're not going at 100 miles per hour 24/7. So being able to visualize that in your training while having another human in front of you is pretty cool. And it obviously just helps you build confidence as well. It helps you just know that there's different speeds that you can play at.
So, mate, yeah.
Who do you meet up when you have like the training sessions? Is it like people from your coach, or like friends of yours, or like teammates when you like train in the summer?
Mhm.
It's like who are the people in the group?
Oh, so like what kind of people do I train with? Is what
Yeah.
you're saying? So I train with other college athletes. Sometimes if I get a chance to be other like professional, like overseas players, but it's mainly just people my age that I train with.
There could be like people below your level. There could be people above your level.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter either one. Either one.
And it's really like also when they play back home in the summer, it's like nice. Like sometimes there come people outside on the pitch. They play like, I don't know, second division in Germany. It's like you can really see like the level of them. It's like, oh, I have some work to do.
Exactly, and it's good to train with people like that as well, because if you want to actually play at that level, it's good to see like what exactly it looks like, and then you can also pick their brain too a little bit, what they think you should do, like where they can see you playing at. It's just good to have like another set of eyes or another opinion to hear from.
Yeah, because as we mentioned, as I said before, when you're young, like you can always have like advice or look at your peers. When you're young, like they're not really that experienced, but now that you're at this level, you have the opportunity to train with people that have been like in those high level scenarios. You can actually look at them, what they're doing, how they train, the approach they have, and also talk to them and see in what way you can be better, what things you can get from them. So I think like at that point, it's very good to like involve yourself with people that are at a high level, right? Oh, great, man. And then, is this how the routine will look like for you during the whole off season? Apart from the training, is there anything else that you're doing? Like any state of mind, you just try to relax, or maybe try to do something else?
Yeah, so honestly, I don't really do like nothing too crazy in all season because I don't really like try to like overdo things. I just know that what I do is what I need to get done and to be successful. So honestly, like my downtime, I don't really do anything too crazy. I'm kind of in the Jordan's shoes, pretty bad. So I'm always looking at some type of shoe, something to spend my money on, knowing I shouldn't. But
You have the Jordan Force.
Yeah. Either way, though.
They look crisp though.
Yeah, I don't really wear my shoes like that. I should though before they end up falling.
You don't crease them.
Not at all. I can't do that. Can't do that.
You know, whenever I got like new shoes, I just like walk like this with flat foot, man. Just to not crease them.
I get you some crease protectors, man.
Is it what?
Crease protectors.
A crease protector? I've never seen those.
You put them in the shoe, and then it's like it's possible to crease them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You have them?
Got them in almost every pair of shoes I got.
You need them, bro. Probably what? Like, what's your size? Like 15?
14.
Yeah, man. Like, you need the one of those, bro. Yeah, definitely. And man, we saw. I mean, you're a all defensive team, defensive player of the year in the conference. How does because the defense in sports is kind of like the place that nobody wants to go. You know, like something that not all the people want to do. Like you always want to score, you always want to be in offense. But then being a defensive player, like how do you approach the game in a different way, or what do you think of like what's the importance of defense in the game?
So I'm gonna just give some people some advice. If you want to be successful in college, I promise you, you're not gonna score. Like that. Yeah. I don't really know too many people that actually average like a lot of points in college. Just knowing that as I got older, I kind of accepted the role of I knew what I was good at, and that was defense, and that's what a lot of schools looked at me for. So when it comes to defense, my mindset totally clicks like to the point where I don't want the person to score on me at all. The problem is that I struggle with a lot this year as I foul a lot. With that, but I think it's just more of a mindset thing, and just buying into that role of doing things that other people don't want to do is kind of like what I turn my mind to when it comes to defense. I want to just basically shut the person down, and I kind of want to just basically, I don't know if I can say this one, but like I'm basically causing hell for 40 minutes. Like I want you to be miserable when the game is over.
Yeah.
Just embracing the darkly work.
Mhm.
Say this.
Exactly.
Like that there's someone to do it, but you there to do it for the team.
Yeah, it's good to just have like just knowing that the people on your team look up to you for things like that.
Mhm.
Like as far as defense, I mean, I don't really know a better title to have other than just knowing that like people love the way that you help the team out defend at a high level like that.
Yeah, and we talked about this actually 2 podcasts ago. You mentioned that you knew what you were good at, and that was defense.
Yeah.
So many people, instead of just trying to focusing on those things that they're good at, like they just try and do different things. Like for example, in your case, it would be, oh no, right now I just want to show up. Let me just try to score 30 points a game. But then you start like pounding on what you were actually good at, and then working on your defense, which is what was your strength.
Yeah.
Like is your training more directed through the defense, or do you try to work on everything?
Well, that's the good thing about what I said that I train with other people is the live play. I'm working on everything at once. I got an offense and defense. So once we play on offense, you go into defense and playing defense against somebody else. So you basically just guarding the move that you just learned.
Yeah.
Well, at the same time, you got to learn how to play defense, or you're not gonna play in college either.
Right. And is that defense part, were you always good at it since your high school times?
I don't really like to talk about myself like that much, but yeah, that was my main thing in high school as well.
Okay.
That's why I went to my JUCO for. Surprisingly, I don't even know how I even did it, but I broke our all-time block record at my JUCO college my freshman year in one season. It was
One season?
It was done in two. So
Great, man. It's
yeah.
great, man. So now that we're talking about JUCO, I mean, for many people that are watching, they hear JUCO, NIA, NCAA, like they don't really know what's the difference. Or, for example, for us being internationals, you don't really know that much about it. What would you say are the biggest differences between JUCO and NIA in terms of academics, but also athletics, like difference that you can recall?
So I would say JUCO, obviously, I would say more from, we can start with the academics point first. With academics, a lot of my classes were online. So
Okay.
I wasn't really at the school as much
Mm.
unless I had like a class or if we were just watching film. But 9 times out of 10, I was just on my laptop.
Okay.
So then when I transferred here and they told me that all my classes were in person, I was not too happy about that because then I just knew what was going to happen. I had 8 a.m. I was at school from almost basically we had sometimes weightlifting at 7, so I'll be at school.
Yeah, I saw you guys like when I was in the gym in the bike. I always saw you guys coming from the weight room.
7 a.m. until I'm at school until like almost 5 o'clock. So I was just like, I don't really like that much. But just that transition for that with academics it wasn't too bad honestly because I was already familiar with a lot of my schoolwork.
But you said JUCO, the grades are more important.
So JUCO, that's the thing. That's what a lot of people downplay JUCO a lot. Is like they don't think that JUCO athletes they don't do like their work. It's basically like a narrative that's been built.
It's just online.
Yeah.
You still have to get the grades.
Exactly.
Like JUCO is 2 years, and then you have to find another university to finish off.
Exactly.
So that's why it's more important. Like, if you don't have good grades, you're not going to find.
Exactly. So that's the thing that a lot of JUCO athletes don't understand. Like the grades itself is what a lot of these recruiters will literally shut the whole thing down about. Like they don't have time to look at you and then not worry about him with academics, so we don't want to waste our money on him.
I watched a documentary, Last Chance U.
Yeah.
And there's like also about basketball, and it's always about grades. Some problems with the guys.
So that's a lot. That's the thing that breaks a lot of athletes too. It's just grades. That's why I try to preach like just being locked in with that as well. Just putting a lot of focus into that too.
Yeah. I mean, and of course, like probably your focus is more on the sport, but I think everyone can bring up 1 or 2 hours for the classes and just do your stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, so for all the athletes out there, just focus on your grades too. Like, don't forget them.
You're
a student athlete.
It's not good. It's not a good thing.
I mean, if you're already putting in the work for the sports part, like it won't hurt just to make sure at least to turn in all your assignments. You know,
Exactly.
like not risking everything that you've done just because of the fact that you didn't want to show up to class or you didn't want to do this presentation or whatever. You know.
Like if you know it's so important for the recruitment. So I heard some stories of my friends. They always like, "Oh, I got this offer, but then my grades were too bad."
Exactly, man. Like it becomes like a limiting factor that's not really worth it to have.
Yeah, you're right. But then I'll talk a little bit more about I'll talk about the athletic side of things
Yeah,
now
yeah.
too. So I wouldn't say it was nothing crazy, like the transition from JUCO to NAI is that people are just more disciplined. I would say, just
Here in
yeah,
NIA.
yeah. The scout report is a lot more disciplined. They take away a lot of like things that you want to do. JUCO, I mean, it's kind of like freelance basketball. It's not really anything structured. Like everybody's trying to get theirs because they know like this is like you don't want to be at the JUCO for forever. So everybody's trying to get seen by the schools, and you got to try to basically stand out. So with NAI, it's not really much of that. So it's more just team.
Do you think it's
basketball.
like it showed out or showed like you can like sense it in the games, like when people like just try to get the highlights?
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
oh no. JUCO is it's so easy to tell what's going on with that. I mean, I don't blame people though. Like, I mean, I wouldn't want to be at a JUCO for that long either. I mean, I would have loved to stay at my JUCO if I could have. But
It was like a 4-year program or
I would
4 years online.
Yeah, I would have been good. I would have been good there. But I'm pretty blessed that I got a chance to come here at all.
no, great man. And also like the fact of being a 4-year program here allows you to have like more long-term development instead of, as you mentioned, everybody just trying to get the spotlight, everybody just trying to do that skill that's gonna get them to the other university because they don't want to stay in the UCO for the whole life. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. So now you came to here to Indiana Tech. How has this like these 2 seasons that you've been here been for you, bro?
It's been great, honestly. I loved every moment that I was here. Just misses all the sprints, all the running. You know, Coach Ted yelling at me every day about my fouling. You know,
you're fouling.
Yeah, don't miss that. But it was a great experience. I'm very happy that I came here. Just being able to meet everybody that I met in my short time that I was here was a great experience for me.
Great, man. And then if you look back to these past 2 years, what would you say are some of the things in terms of both athletics and academics that allowed you to have the success, if you want to call it like that you've had, that have allowed you to have good grades and do good sports? What were those habits, those things that you did that you probably say, okay, this is because of that?
So as far as the academic side, I think I was just saying I just try to get as much done as early as possible. I try to start my work if I can earlier in the week. I mean, I know it sucks because people want to just have free time to do whatever they want, but I think just locking in on the classwork that you got in hand and just getting it done as soon as possible. Not rushing anything, but just not doing anything last minute as well, because that affects how assignments look when they get graded.
I mean, at some point you have to do them, you know.
It's also good just do before practice. Otherwise, you're in practice and like, oh shit, I have to do an assignment after practice. Or like, the worst for me was before a game. I don't want to be going into the game knowing I have to do like a essay until 11:59. I just do it before.
Exactly. With the athletic side of things, I would just say just being consistent. Obviously, you preach again consistency. Just like with
it's the biggest part.
Exactly with basketball, you gotta it's not something that you can just do every now and then. You gotta try to get in the gym whenever you can by yourself. And I mean, I'm not gonna say I do that all the time when I'm here, but just trying to get as much done as possible when you get to the gym. Just being focused on the things that you know that you need to work on, and that helps you build confidence too as well.
Especially also like for your big guys, like you have to get like your rehab and like I think for your knees and everything, you have to be careful. Like consistency plays a big role there.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like because so loud, man. Because many people think that it's okay. Going to sports and being good at sports is very hard. Many people think of it as the complexity, like doing fancy stuff, like they see the between the legs, like the fancy things that are hard. But I think the complexity actually comes on just being able to stay consistent throughout the whole time. You can just do the basics consistently, and you're gonna be the best. You know what I mean? So I don't know what you think about that.
I could just preach a little quote real quick that I got from John. They
Please.
just repeated to me a lot. It's change your habits or change your goals, and that's something I like always like tell myself that basically like the goals that you want are gonna like basically the habits that you form right now are ultimately gonna end up showing when you're trying to reach that goal that you want? Like you want that championship. What habits are you forming right now to get to that point to be successful when that time rises for that championship? Are you basically like, are you confident in the things that you've already put the work into? Are your habits aligning with the goals that you want, like your training schedule? Are you training the way you're supposed to? Are you eating the way you're supposed to? What are you doing ultimately outside of the sport or the goal that you assigned to yourself?
That's great, man. I actually heard so make sure the habits. Make sure no change your habits or change your goals.
Yep.
Okay, because I heard a quote also last week. I don't really remember it like specifically, but it was something along the lines that the problem is not if your goal isn't to like be the like the richest person in the world or the best basketball player. Like that doesn't have to be your goal.
Yeah.
But if that's your goal, are the things that you're doing related to that?
Exactly.
Because that's where the problem comes in. When your goal, like when the things that you're doing every day doesn't really relate with the goal that you actually have.
Yep.
So there has to be some type of alignment, some type of relation between what you're doing and where you want to get, right?
Yep.
Oh, that's great, man. And all those habits that you mentioned, the training, the doing the stuff early, just align with the goal that I suppose that you have is being the best athlete possible, but also the best students possible.
Yep.
As you said, you want to like change that narrative in your family and actually accomplish something in the academic side. So all those goals that you have to consistently put in the actions every day. That's great, man. I just think it's a very good like lesson for all the people.
You're done with college now. So you made it.
Yeah. Somehow I made it. Somehow.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
what are the
somehow.
next steps? What are you planning to do right now, man?
So I think right now my mind is really set on the graduate system, but I'm not shutting down the basketball opportunity at
Okay.
all either. Like if a professional opportunity arises for me, I'll
Okay.
definitely take it. I'm not shutting basketball down, but honestly, I'm just waiting for the opportunity to if I get the opportunity to go overseas, I'll definitely take it.
Great.
What's the waiting process? Do you reach out to other like clubs overseas, or like you just give like an agent? Or
So that's the thing I'm in the process of doing. I'm like looking for an agent and stuff like that right now.
Okay.
Just trying to get more familiar with the overseas
Mhm.
type of thing. Because obviously it's way different.
Yeah.
From
is
how
there any
basketball is.
country you would like to go?
Not.
You just
I mean, I would love to go over like Europe somewhere. That would be nice.
maybe have a connection to Germany. A friend of mine is playing.
Is it?
You can ask him.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to Germany. And, hey, as long as I can play basketball, that's all I care about. I'm good.
Yeah, that was 'cause I was gonna ask you, like, do you know somebody overseas, maybe?
Oh yeah. Raj Stein, he played here.
Okay.
2 years ago, before I came here, he was playing here. That's what I talked to a lot mainly.
Yeah, because I think having those connections, like outside of the like overseas, is it's gonna be very key for now that you're trying to do that.
Yeah.
And even if you don't make it pro there, like still like 1 year overseas playing, like being away from home, it's experience. Like I mean, Camilo and me, we're doing it right now.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing too. Like that's why I said I want to be just like more vulnerable, like doing different things. Like I'm a family person. I love to be around my family. But I just feel like just being exposed to like a different culture like that would definitely help me out a lot.
Totally,
Like,
man.
being able to experience something new.
I mean, I
is
definitely
great.
learned a lot of stuff about myself being here,
Yeah.
just being away from home.
And like I can tell you, for example, I come from South America. He comes from Europe.
Okay.
Like, like the amount of things that you learn because of how different the culture is here in America than to other countries. It's just great, man. Like the simple fact that you being exposed to that is just amazing. And also because considering that I think every basketball player here is American too. So you're probably not really that exposed to like the internationals or like the other countries. So I think the opportunity to have that experience will be like very helpful, man. It will be very, very nice.
What part of Europe you from?
Germany.
Germany.
Yeah.
Like, it's good.
Yeah, it's good. Come back home soon.
Are you okay?
Feeling good for that.
Yeah, 1 month.
Yeah. Almost there, man. Counting down the days too for graduation. Don't worry about it.
I'm actually even on a graduation date on the 10th of May.
Are you? How long is that? What is it, like a flight? How long is a flight for you?
So I think it's 11 hours. It's all right.
Is
Yeah.
it just straight, or you got like?
I go to Chicago and then I go to Frankfurt. It's like one of the biggest airports.
You don't get scared up there? You're not like nervous with the
No,
plane?
I'm used to it now.
Oh, no.
Or if you fly to Germany, you have to get a bigger place than me for your legs.
Yeah, I do. I definitely need that. But you not nervous with the planes, man? You ain't seen like these planes recently. You ain't seen like the
I
news.
saw what happened in New York.
Yeah. See, and them planes.
For me, I have to say like 5 planes, 4 planes.
Do you?
Yeah.
See,
You're not a very big like a big plane
I mean,
guy.
I don't mind the planes, but it's just I be seeing too much of the news.
I mean, yeah, this year was
man.
not
You
good.
probably have to delete Twitter or
Yeah.
Instagram or something.
Planes falling out the sky. I'm like, man, please.
Before you go to Europe to play, you have to delete it,
I
man.
might just be asleep the whole ride or something. I might have to figure something out because I can't sit up there just knowing I'm in the air for about 11 hours. That's crazy.
Goes by fast, bro. If you sleep, it goes by fast.
That's exactly what I'm about to do then.
Now, brother, I mean, it was very nice speaking to you, bro. Got a lot of value from you. Just simple idea. I just think it's very important that point in which you realize, okay, I actually need to like start putting in the work. And then what you mentioned, just doing it consistently from then on, like just sticking to basics, to your strengths, which was the defensive part, and like support, surrounding yourself with the right people, with the right mentors, the right coaches, also with your family, was always supportive of you. So I think these are all things that the people can like take away from this podcast and this conversation. Really get a lot of knowledge from that. So I really appreciate you for that, man.
Thanks for having me.
We got a lot of value. I think also like you realizing at some point, okay, now I have to put the work in, and also like getting the contact with your coach, being teachable, and also having like the bigger why, like saying you want to change like going to college in your family. I think it's really nice.
And aligning your day-to-day actions with your goals. I think that's what like being great is all about. Like being able to actually put in the work, and that's how people actually achieve things.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, definitely, man. So if you're cool with that, now we're gonna go through some rapid fire questions, bro.
Good.
All right, perfect. What's your favorite professor here in the university?
Favorite professor?
Yeah.
I gotta give it to my man, Dr. Walls.
Like,
Even though I ain't survived in this class so long, but
OG, man.
yeah, he kicked me out, man. I wasn't.
You came late.
Nah, I didn't come late, man. I was just the negative points. I tell you, they just added up pretty quick. He wasn't. I thought he was playing about the negative points, but he wasn't playing with me. I learned that the hard way. I was like, I gotta get up out of here, man. I don't think I'm gonna survive.
You still appreciate him.
No, 100%. I still appreciate him. He still jokes about it with me to this day.
I have to show it to him this podcast.
Oh, please do. Please do.
So you're 6'8". How often do you get asked if you play basketball?
A little bit, you know, it's actually insane how much I get asked, and I just sometimes I want to just joke with people, just say I play like cricket or something.
Yeah, some like random,
Yeah,
like ping pong.
Yeah, just to see what they say. But no, I get asked a lot.
Ping pong would be crazy.
Yeah,
It's like the reach.
Two-handed. Brother, what's in your backpack 99% of the time?
99% of the time, I'll say probably just my shaker bottle, and then
Some protein.
and then just my workout shoes. That's about it.
Okay.
Everything else was at home.
Okay.
No books.
Not a single book, which is insane because I just couldn't tell you the last time I went and actually got my books.
Really?
Just not happening.
Who was your favorite for the March Madness this year?
Houston, and they just disappointed me so
Oh,
bad.
in the final, right?
So bad. Oh man, they disappointed me so.
How do you feel about that, man?
I was not happy. I was not happy at all. I mean, my favorite team is Michigan State, but
Michigan State are like the Spartan.
Yeah. Yep. And I had a feeling that Houston was going to do it this year, but I love watching them play. Them and UConn are like my two favorite teams to watch play.
Yeah. But
Houston
they folded in the
just
final.
folded at the end. I wish they did, but it happens.
Was there any other teammate from your team supporting the Gators?
Oh, almost everybody. That's the thing. I'm the hater of the team. I'm the one that I'm
like
the one.
always when everybody's right,
Yeah.
you're left.
Yeah, I got to be outside. Like,
So they probably made some fun of you, huh?
oh, 100%. But that's okay. Like, we have a big debate now with LeBron going on, and
Okay.
everybody likes LeBron. I like to be opposite. I like to say that Jordan's better and make everybody mad, which I 100% think that is true. That Jordan is definitely better than LeBron.
Okay.
I'll probably get a lot of backlash on that, but man, it's what it is.
Call him out if you want to.
Crow Gibson.
Okay.
We got Max Perez here. Let's see. We got a lot of. It's really Crew and then Max. That's really my biggest foes right now.
And they say LeBron is better than MJ.
Oh, they think he is, but he's not at all. They know that MJ's better than LeBron. It's hard for them to accept, and that's okay. Oh yeah, my boy Ethan back at home. Ethan Bensinger back at home. Him too. We get on him a little bit. You know, that's really my biggest critic. He tries to bring up stats and all that. And I don't want to hear it, but it's all right though.
Coming with the numbers.
What's your biggest argument for MJ being better?
It's just overall better. I don't really gotta explain too much. You just watch the
highlights.
Exactly. Just watch the highlights. I don't gotta explain it too much.
That will do the explaining for you.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect, man. Bro, if you could choose any era of any NBA team, in which one you would like to play?
Which one would I like to play in?
Yeah.
That is a tough one. See, I want to say Jordan era just to make everybody mad.
Yeah.
But realistically, I would probably say our era. Actually, I'll play in this era.
In what team? Like
team?
biggest like a stage of a team that you'd say, for example, just putting an example, the 2008 Lakers or something like that.
I'm gonna have to go with the big three: Miami Heat, LeBron,
D-Wade,
and all them. Yeah, I'll say that era. That was a fun time because Miami is my favorite team, and then
against the Spurs, that was a good like rivalry.
Yeah, that was a great year, but that's ultimately what fueled my hate for LeBron as well as when he left us. So I still remember that to the day.
Okay,
but it's okay though.
What do you think changed the most, like in the game? Like I always see like videos like, oh, the players today wouldn't survive back then, and stuff was more physical.
That's not true. That's not true at all. I think a lot of players will survive back then. I just like to be a critic sometimes about that, just to make people mad. But I honestly think that just with the resources that we have now for athletes compared to what they had back then, will just kind of give them that extra push that they didn't have back then. That's why a lot of the old players back then didn't really. I mean, I'm not gonna say they weren't successful, but their bodies just aren't the way that our bodies are now in this era.
And a lot of people like to be like romantic about the thing that will happen before, you know, and always say that what happened before is better than what is going
nostalgic.
On.
Like the same with football or soccer. So if there's one rule for defenders you would like to change, which one would it be?
Say it again.
Like one rule you were allowed to change for defenders, which one would it be?
What rule would I change?
But probably make your life easier.
Oh, I would bring back the hand check.
And what's that?
Oh, so basically it's just like when you're playing defense.
Yeah.
You can have like a hand rest on somebody.
Okay, like touching them?
Yeah. I think a lot of, I don't know why it was taken away. I feel like it's annoying. It's probably one of the most called fouls in the game. It's the most tacky foul that you possibly call. I don't see the problem with it.
So if you're just guarding someone, you're not allowed to put your hand on him?
Yeah, like if you're guarding them and they have the ball, and as soon as you put your hand on them, it's automatic.
Really?
They're calling it bees. Yeah. Okay. I could say that because that's what killed me a lot this year is hand checking, just doing that too much.
I mean, it just gives you a sense of the distance, you know, and also like having a sense of your rival.
Yeah.
I mean, in soccer, you're supposed to use your hands a lot just to get a feel of the rival, but also to like push them a little bit, you know, do that stuff.
I think I couldn't switch it off.
No, man. It's like playing like this, you know?
Yeah.
Brother, morning or night practice?
Oh, gosh. That's a tough one for me because I hate getting up in the morning. I would have to say more. I'm just going to say morning because we had a night practice when we were in Arizona, and that was just not pleasant because we practiced at like almost 9 o'clock.
So if you have to pick, would it be what, like afternoon practice?
If I had to pick, I would actually do the morning practice because then you have like the rest of the day to do whatever.
Okay.
A lot of people.
But you still don't like to wake up early in the morning?
No, not at all. But for some reason, my body just doesn't let me sleep in. So somehow I'm still up early, as much as I hate being up early.
I mean, you're up. You might as well just get into practice. Right?
Exactly.
Good,
What's
bro.
your go-to away games like? Like if you go on like on a away game, you're on the road. What's your favorite snack to bring?
Uh, I would say probably Cheez-Its. That's really my go-to. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Cheez-Its.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
The crackers.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Brother, what's the most underrated skill in basketball for you, in your opinion?
Underrated skill that people don't really pay attention to as much as
Mhm.
defense. I think a
Defense.
lot of people focus on offense too much. And they don't want to focus on defense because defenses can get you paid. So and
Yeah.
a lot of people don't understand that. They think scoring is what a lot of people look for, and that's the complete opposite of what a lot of teams look for. So
Great,
definitely
man.
defense,
Anything specific on defense that you think is valuable?
doing the things that people don't want to do. I mean, you got diving on the floor, keeping your man in front. Just a lot of the simple things that people overlook is
Okay.
what I think is the most valuable part of basketball.
Definitely, man.
Okay. And to finish it off, you have the stage. What's your advice to young athletes who want to make it to a good level?
My advice for young athletes to make it to a good level, I would say just being consistent with the things that you want to do, build the right habits right now as a kid, because the habits that you form now are basically going to lead you to where you want to be as you get older.
Great, great, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
That's
I
right.
think you've provided us with so much value, like what you just mentioned, like just being consistent, doing it over a long period of time, doing the things that other people don't want to do. That's what's actually gonna make the difference, man.
Be where your feet are. That's another thing that I preach to. Is just
Be with where your feet are.
Yeah, be where your feet are. Just I think a lot of people get caught up in looking into the future
Mm-hmm.
and then thinking about the past, but ultimately ends up messing with a lot of people's heads. And I think just being like where you're at right now,
Being present.
yep,
Yeah.
kind of limits the amount of anxiety that you have, and then just thinking that you got a lot of things to do. But really, in reality, you just need to be happy with where you're at, and then just live in the moment.
Great, man. No, brother.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate
Thanks
you for
for
being
having me.
here, bro.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
A good one.